motion was that everything had to be fully funded by tonight.
It wasn't just funding, it was security, the chief was
Right,
comfortable.
right, but,
Yeah.
yeah, funding had to be in place, so.
I think I have it.
Is your evacuation plan?
So, yeah, chief has been briefed on all that. No, I don't have that actual motion, I'm sorry.
Do you need me to,
So,
I can try to pull up the minutes.
I mean,
What's it, the 15th, June
I'll
15th?
just make a motion if you like.
It wasn't, it was not July, so it was June.
I just make a motion that all,
Just move to,
then, all,
move to accept plans.
yeah. That's fine. Lance, will be okay?
Yes, sir, is the point of the motion is it any funding involved, or is it just to approve the holding of the event?
Holding the event concept, I think.
Yeah, just to approve event plans as discussed.
Motion.
I'd like to move that we approve plans as presented for Volkswagen on the Lake, October 25th to 27th in Sycamore Bend Park.
Councilman Ward, that motion in a second. Second. Any seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all very much. Okay, consider action for bids for Turboville, James.
So we received the bids from the contractors for Turboville Road, and basically, All Excavation was the lowest bidder by $1,600. So, and they're currently doing the roadway project right here in Wallingwood from Turboville from Point Vista Road to Long Reagan right now. And so we went through all the bids, and everything looked good. And so we recommend All Excavation to be the contractor for the rest of Turboville.
Okay. This is from Ronald Reagan to,
Ron Reagan to basically the Elm Logger property,
Right.
and they're going to have like a little transition area. And then the Steeplechase developers are going to basically do the rest of the road from that point all the way to the Park Bridge.
right, okay. Before we okay this, or even look at this, we need to probably hit the budget first, and then come back to this. So we heard your part on this, everything's good there.
Okay.
So now we're just gonna need to talk about the budget.
Do you have any other questions for us?
Any questions from Scott? Okay. All right, thanks.
Do you need me to stay here for that?
Now I think we're good.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay.
Thanks. Okay, consider after approval of 2013-2014 fiscal year preliminary budget for public inspection and comment set September 17, 2013 as date for public hearing.
Recommend the tax rate.
Yeah. Consider act on fiscal year 2013 proposed tax rate set date for public hearings. Proposed tax rate exceeds the lower of the effective rate of the rollback rate.
We just need to discuss the tax rate.
Just
Lance, is
need
that
to-
not counterintuitive?
You need to,
You're
you need
the
to,
tax rate.
you're acting on the proposed tax.
Proposed tax rate.
It's not the tax rate.
It's not the tax rate, it's the proposed tax rate of what,
So what is the action that we need to take at this point?
They're gonna act on a proposed tax rate, but you don't want to be any lower than what you might in the assessment.
right.
I guess you have recommendations for what that number needs to be.
Yeah, I had recommendations for either the effective rate, which is 0.416882, which in order to, or the other rate I had proposed is 0.43. Where is it? Yeah, do you have, I don't, let me try to pull it up here, I'm sorry.
I can get it real quick, Christie off then. 435,118
Yeah,
is what you,
435,
118.
118.
So Lance, tell me again, you're saying that we should,
Well, don't adopt as your proposed rate anything lower than what you might have to actually assess that in your final decision.
okay. So if you've had a chance to look at the budget, you've got two different budget options. One's at one rate and one's at the effective rate, one's at the proposed, the rate that Christie has proposed. So, we need to just approve that rate then, correct?
Well, if Lance, and maybe I'm sorry, I'm not. If they decide to do, we need to decide if they're gonna do the effective rate or if they're gonna go with a higher rate, which will trigger the public hearings.
Public hearing, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of lost here because we haven't had a budget discussion to decide how much we need.
Well, you can go ahead and discuss the budget if you feel more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, let's go on down let's move to D8 and discuss the budget first. And Christie has prepared two budgets. One using the effective rate, which if you notice, that's lower than our tax rate, current tax rate, because our property values went up. So to get the same amount of ad valorem tax, the effective rate is a little bit lower this year. And this is what Christie has really been telling us was going to happen for 5 or 6 years. The ad valorem tax value on our properties since 2008, it dropped every year until last year. Last year, it gained back, we're at a net loss of, since 2008, $10 million in property value. Is that correct, Chris?
Correct.
It's a little over 10 million. So she's prepared one budget at the effective rate, that's the first one you have, and it shows, if we do the effective rate, at the very top of the budget on page 1, it shows you the amount that we would be underfunded. We'd be underfunded by $49,526.02.
And that's changed since you all came back from executive session, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I've already made changes since you came back to executive session,
Okay.
which brought that number down to like 42, and I'm trying to find that right now.
Okay.
I have made those changes, I apologize.
Okay, that's okay.
42 and change.
So 42 instead of 49. And then if we went to the rate that Christie has proposed, you can scroll on down to all of these. We would be actually 78.94 to the good, but it'd be even a little more because of the changes.
Correct, it would be like 13,000 that we would need to distribute throughout the other thing we can do is if you all decide to stay at the effective rate, we can once again balance the budget with fund balance reserve. But at some point, I'm concerned that if we keep doing that, that
I agree.
we're gonna have an issue. It may not be this year, it may not be next year, but down the road, it concerns me.
Right, and one of the things that we know is that sales tax has dropped a little bit.
43,000, I mean, we're doing it at 3%, and it could go lower than that, because now I found out that Cinemark has now sold to Carmike, which that makes me believe that our theater is gonna become a dollar theater. I don't think Carmike, I do not believe, and I could be wrong, but I do not think that Carmike has full paying theaters. I believe they're a dollar theater product.
I'm not sure. We know that we're going to have some things coming in the not next year, but the following year, 2015, some of the steeplechase will start to come in and some key in.
Right,
Kind of
but why we have to wait is because we're just now adopting the 2013 rate. We're a year behind when we're doing property taxes. We get the funds in the 13, 14 budget year, But what we face is, we don't start seeing that property tax revenue until those houses are built, and then they come on the rolls the following year, the October.
So on a $200,000 house, what's the estimated difference?
Well, at $37 a year. And that's on a $186,000 home. That's the average home value in Hickory Creek.
You know, I don't like raising taxes, but we've also got to look out at the fact that, you know, they're going to begin on 35 in the fall. I just was watching the mayor of Grapevine last night talk about how much they suffered during 114, the construction. They've lost some restaurants, they've gained a couple now. But, you know, you've got there's this valley you've got to get through and make it to the other side. And so, I think council needs to weigh in on this and have some kind of a discussion here about what we feel like we need to do.
It's a hard one, I agree. The problem is, once you raise it, I know $38 may not seem like a lot, but it very seldom ever goes back down.
It's true.
We have reserves, that's the positive, but yes, it's in my opinion, wrong to always be hitting reserves just to balance your budget. Nobody wants to do that in their personal budgets.
Other discussion?
Personally, I like the protection that the .435 provides for the town, with the uncertainty of exactly what I-35 impact's going to be, like I said. And with the increase of rooftops, we're going to have the increased request for services, and we're not going to be able to provide them if we don't put in some protection somewhere. I think we've done more with less for a long time.
Services are going to continue to increase, especially your development comes in. And the I-35 project is going to be a 4 to 5 year project, which is going to hurt revenue-wise. Nationwide, Walmart is now everywhere. I guess the economy, you know, that's a well-known fact. It's in the papers and everyplace else. So, you know, you're losing TLC, you're losing Chili's, you're losing restaurants, you're going to be people hollering for more services as your houses go in, and it's going to be very difficult. You know, if you don't start preparing now for it, because it's going to be a while before you reap any benefits at all from your development.
And I think our town is run as lean as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
You know, if we're ever going to increase staffing in certain areas years down the road.
Okay, I got some questions in. 4604 citations, Roger, our adopted budget, I guess, was 570. Amended was 530. We're proposing 10,000 increase for this budget coming up, right? Any potential to get more out of that? Is that a fully staffed police department compared to what we've been trending earlier in the year? Because the trends are going up. They look good, better than they did at the beginning of the year.
They've had a lot of pressure on them the last few months to produce. When I-35 starts construction, that's going to fall off. You can almost tell.
When's that? What date is that? Do we even know?
They're saying that they're going to, we don't know what.
Yeah, we don't
they're
know.
gonna
We
do
don't
in
know
this
at what
section.
point they will
We
be,
don't have firm enough
you
details.
know, I mean, we don't know, but it's not, from what they're saying, it's not that far in the distant future here. They're looking at this to be something coming on. I mean, we're not talking a year, 2 years out. But it's going to be very difficult to, you know, work the highway with the construction. It's going to be difficult to get to the people. And definitely don't want to turn it around where everything we write is resident.
So you're pretty solid on that 540? No wiggle room?
No, I would not up that at all. Reason being, I look at it from basically when I walked in back in late '06, '07, we were sitting in 200 or something. And you had like a $228,000 increase since that time. And, I mean, you only got very few officers working the street. So, you know, for most of the year, we were at least one down, at times two down, which created a problem. Right now, we having to rework some of the officers, at least one. We've had to move him to a day shift to start training him in another area. So, the ones, we've got them up, but to maintain that day in, day out, year long, it's very difficult.
Okay, the trends look good, so they're moving upwards, that's what I was wondering. 4612, court costs, Chrissy, they're up 21,000? Are they proposing to go up 21,000? What's the big increase there?
The court cost is based on the, and I will have to get back with Daylight on that, because it should be, I don't know how she got the 264. Because it's based on, she does a percentage on what we bring in 540 and what goes to the
The state court cost breaks down to a percentage. That's how she comes up with it.
And it could be that when we amended the budget, because if you look here, when we amended the budget, that I went too low. When we amended the budget in April.
So it's lower than 11 and 12 actual, though, which is interesting.
I'll have to get with Gail on that. She won't be back in the office until Thursday.
5510, just another one was excuse me, that's not right. Yeah, it might be 5510.
Health insurance?
Health insurance, you told me that went up 12%?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's pretty probably expected. 5518, that's a big jump there. How has that jumped that high if nothing really has changed personnel-wise?
Well, last year, we weren't fully funded at 2 to 1. We had it for 9 months. This year, we have it for 12 months.
So the
Last
3 more
year-
months jumped it up that much?
Mhm.
Okay.
And our percentage went up from 9.47 to 10.3, I believe.
And 5608. Is there a new car planned or something?
Those are the,
That's in-car video cameras. They like the radios, they have run out, we can't get them repaired, we can't get them replaced, we can't even get the mics fixed on them now.
So that's a new purchase for this coming year?
yes,
That's not a court technology or anything?
No,
no, we can't take it out of court.
And that's absolutely a must, I guess, huh?
We're using 10,000 of drug forfeiture money
drug court.
to help offset that cost.
Yeah.
And so right now, what are we doing? Is it working? Is it not working?
We've got some mics that are down. They did the same thing that the radios have done. When they build them and put them in, they base it on a 10, 12-year cycle. Once you get to the end of that cycle, there are no parts available, no mics available. And you get to a point, now we've got to have them for our regular profile. We got to be able to video the traffic stops, and we did look out right before they shut her off on getting some mics, but they were very expensive.
As far as budget goes, I want to hold it. That's my 2 cents on it. I'd rather take it out of reserve this year and then see what happens for this coming 12 months going forward. So that's my stance. I'll be standing solo or not, but that's what I'd like to do.
I do have an additional question on citations. Do they usually go up during construction because fines double during
They
road
double, but
construction?
you can't stop as many vehicles, you can't get to as many people, so. And, you know, there again, you got the economy, a lot of it's gonna depend on money too, do the people have the money to pay it?
The other thing,
But you will definitely see a decrease in citations in construction, so.
the other thing that could affect this budget is if Corinth decides to freeze that emergency coordinator position again, that would be a savings of $11,000 for us for the year.
And that position is in the budget right now, right?
Yes, it is in the budget, so that would bring,
But we've heard strong rumors that they're not going to fund that.
but I emailed Leanne today, and she said that that
It's
decision
not
will not be made until 2 weeks, which made me think they still want to try to, apparently someone still wants to try to fund that position.
I think we all know where the mayor stands on this, but, is there any other discussion? Councilman Dupree, you have any comments?
May I ask, in your discussions with the budget, I know that Roger has a proposal for Parks and Rec. And we need new Ventec machines, we need security cameras because of what happened. We're looking at 26,000, that was one proposal that you
That
had.
was just the installation, and you had a maintenance and a monthly fee.
That was for one part, for one camera,
That was $300, it's $900, if we did all three, it would be $900 a month.
as a lease. Yeah. And those fees are not covered anywhere in this new budget, correct?
Not the security cameras, no. The Ventec machines have already been, those have been purchased, and we received funds from TML,
Yeah.
plus our deductible, so
Yeah.
that's already been taken care of.
But if we're moving forward, if we want to protect from this happening again, and, you know, we know we've lost some Parks and Rec fees because of the incidents. You know, it's hard to ask, can we budget in $26,000 for one camera, and really we need three, but.
No,
That's three cameras.
Three
That's
cameras.
three cameras.
That's
One
one
of
of
each.
those.
That's all three Ventecs.
Okay,
That's all three.
Yeah.
It's just the monthly, the
$900 a month monitoring
monitoring
fee.
fee. But I think Tom Bond is looking into something,
He
and
is.
also I have spoken to Art, and when I told Art what the proposal was, he said, oh, let me
Yeah.
see what I can
I'm
do.
gonna
I
meet
think
with
there's
Park
some
Burton one.
If,
With Art? Okay.
if we hold the line, let's say we hold the line, do we balance this tonight and withdraw monies out? Or do we have a special meeting, or when do we have to?
Well, you're just presenting the budget to me tonight. We actually don't adopt the budget until the September
September.
meeting. We'll have to have a public hearing.
And then we make everything balanced.
Well, I would like to leave tonight with a balanced budget. That would be my,
But if we adopt the lower rate, we'll have to pull out, we'll have to use
To
fund
balance
balance
it.
reserve to
right,
balance it.
exactly, right. And we have to decide on the tax rate tonight.
Right.
Okay. Well,
And the thing to keep in mind, if we go with the effective rate, then, and I know we're mixing two things here, but if we go with the effective rate, we don't have to hold public hearings or anything because we're same thing we were last year. If we go to the higher rate, then we've got to go through the public hearing process and,
Right, and that's why, that was my recommendation, that I didn't feel like if we stayed at our current rate at 42.42, it wasn't worth having those public hearings for the amount of revenue that it's different between 41 and the 42. That's why I made the recommendation of 43.
So what is our fund reserve though?
unrestricted.
We have our unrestricted fund balance is $1.4 million.
is that like 6 months worth? And they want us to
I
have
think
at least
it's like
3 months?
Right, it's at 7, and that already has off the property that we're purchasing.
So that's already off, so we're well over 6 months. And we're asking for 42,000.
I'm more in favor of the effective rate. And
I mean, I guess the other side that we've got to look at is if we stay with if we go with the effective rate. And then a year from now, what is the potential, if our property values go up more, our effective rate will drop again?
Correct, but like I said, the effective rate is determined to base so that we get the same amount of
Right.
money that we had last year.
Right.
So, I mean, our effective rate will keep, yes, it will keep decreasing
As our property values go up.
as our property values
Do
increase.
you, I don't know that I'm no realtor, but it just seems like access is a big part of that rate. And if we have poor access for 4 to 5 years, I don't see property values continuing to go up.
Well,
Well, but we'll have new property, we'll have,
yeah.
we'll have
Yeah,
the,
we'll have the new stuff. but
Right. Like
I
the
just see
mansion,
because of that access though, I
How
don't.
much is the mansions bringing in?
the apartments, we just are doing this year, we're only reaping the 2 million of the property. We will not get the home, we won't get the apartment homes, which is to be 12 million until next October, October 14th.
So what's an extra 10 million at our effective rate?
.4, it's,
Times 0.4, whatever, one,
it's like, what, would it would be 40,000.
Yeah.
just the apartments is gonna make the delta go away.
And then there's people there supporting Walmart.
And I really personally, I could be totally wrong, I don't think the freeway is going to be impacted this fiscal year.
Probably not a lot, this, unless, the thing that can impact it is if TxDOT comes in and they're saying that they're wanting to buy right-of-way for not only phase 1, but phase 2. And you could have a restaurant that could go dark.
Sure.
Or they can choose to lease and stay, they can stay there for 5 years or however long it takes to build it.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I know, it's a hard one, and I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong decision. My gut feeling though is I will only vote to do that when we necessarily have to. But, anybody's welcome to their own opinion.
Well, are we ready to go back then and discuss the tax rate, or
Make a motion for the tax
make
rate.
a motion on the tax rate?
If we get a record vote from each person on the tax rate too.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on the tax rate.
And it's a proposed tax rate.
Thank you, proposed tax rate.
You see, what's the effective tax rate? The 0.416882?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that for the 2013-2014 budget that we accept the effective tax rate of proposed tax rate,
Effective tax rate.
proposed effective tax rate of 0.416882.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have Councilman Weiser voting for, Councilman Kenny voting for, Councilman Dupree, how do you vote? And Councilman Gordon, how do you vote?
For.
I vote for. Okay, the motion passes, and we'll stay with the effective tax rate, Kristen.
Okay.
So I think we just picked our budget.
Yes.
Thank you for recommending that though.
Yes.
For being willing to take a risk.
A big reason for that confidence is because of everybody here.
So then I will just plug in this 42 vote.
I think everybody's fried.
I'm sorry.
We're all fried.
Okay.
Okay, so we set on. Okay, so any more discussion on the budget then? We've plugged in the figures. So I'll make a motion to approve the 2013-2014 fiscal year preliminary budget That's it.
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Councilman Kenny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's see, let me look and see where we are here.
11.
Yeah. Okay, consider an act on a resolution appointing one member to the Board of Managers of the Denco Area 911 District. Do we have a